Hey there, it's mattyfu here. Just thought I'd shoot a quick vlog. Um, so I'm in this Facebook group where eBay sellers share uh, people who've purchased from them that have been problems, and so you can go onto your back end and block them, so you don't have to deal with them. And someone just posted a person, a buyer, and said, "Oh no, this person just bought from me." And posted a link to their feedback left on their profile. So this is the feedback that this person who just bought from them has left for other people they've purchased from. And when I had a look at it, initially I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty bad. But then when you actually look at the numbers, you see that like they're actually a really good buyer, and the comments on that Facebook post were really reactionary. So there were people who were, I don't understand why eBay hasn't banned these people, and eBay needs to get it together and have an algorithm that gets rid of people who leave lots of negatives and stuff like that. The forum itself is really negative, I find. It serves a purpose. I don't know if it's worth the time I personally have spent on there, but whatever. So I figured I would read some of the people's reactions and then show it to you and sort of explain why I think this person isn't someone to be avoided. So here we go. So the first one was, yeah, this guy just bought from me, dot, 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 and they posted a link to them. And so we have one person says, yikes, and one says, oh my, blocked. So they blocked this person. And this is another person says, and yet somehow this is invisible to eBay, or more likely they just don't care. Good luck. Can you call eBay? This person should absolutely be banned from buying on eBay. Here's someone, the voice of reason. They basically only leave feedback when they aren't happy. If you refuse to ship, you'll just become the next one. I wouldn't act differently, and yet my last negative for refusal to ship after immediate payment has been followed by 226 positives in the last 30 days alone. So that's them basically saying, don't worry about it, send it out. If they give you a negative, it's not a big deal. And then there's, wow, did you see the feedback saying you asked for it? And then, oh my god, why does eBay allow these there? There should be automatic deletion of accounts that hit a certain number of negative feedbacks. They can create algorithms to catch serial killers, right? But not serial negative feedbackers? LOL. Blocked. I sell a lot of books. Don't need him on eBay. Then there's someone who goes through the math of basically what I'm gonna show you in a minute. Here's someone else. I blocked him anyways. I don't care how you want to justify the obscene amount of negative feedbacks he leaves for people. So that's someone who doesn't trust the math that people are showing. Oh my lord, how do they even still have an account? And here's someone who says, he most likely has two accounts. He does not sell anything on that one and leaves bad feedback, probably to ruin people's score, and then keep his pristine 100% account intact. Need to find what account he sells from. Oh wow, what a terrible seller slash buyer. 8 negative feedbacks in the past year? Ooh, scary. Is this a Halloween post? So I think that person's being sarcastic and they're saying it's really not that bad of feedback. And then this person says, must be terrible luck to have that many orders not arrive. And this one says, I bet they are drop shippers, buy books on eBay and drop ship to their customers who bought the books through Amazon. then claim not arrived to extort funds. That way they get full refund from eBay seller and payment from Amazon buyer. Pure profit. Which is, when I show you the stuff, you'll see why that doesn't make any sense. Here's someone who says, I'd pay extra for tracking, which not terrible advice. And this is a person who says, but has 100% feedback. And so basically they're complaining that sellers can't leave negative feedback, which is a valid complaint. And this person says, this is actually a breach of eBay policy, leaving constant negative feedback in one category. Get onto them. Say it looks like a dropshipper or competitor. Invest in sign for post and record yourself packaging it. Yeah. Here's how in the actual HE double hockey sticks does this person still have an eBay account? And here's someone else. My take is this guy sells books and is using this account to tarnish his competitor's reputation. And here's someone who says, how does email allow this? Pretty sure they meant eBay. And this person says, seems like he has a gremlin that steals books from his mailbox. So yeah, those are what people, sellers, professional eBay sellers are saying about this account. And I'll give you my take on it and why I think this person is totally fine to sell to. I sell books. If this came up for me, initially, if I looked at their feedback, which I rarely do, I would be startled, and I'll show you why. But I think they're totally fine. Give me a second here. Let's see if this works. Okay, so here we are. So it looks scary, right? Look at all those red negatives they've left for people. So here's the first negative. This one happened during the past month, and they said seller sent instructor's edition. So this would have been a textbook where they ordered the textbook, and what they received was the instructor's edition, which is not, it's not resellable, like it's not as valuable. And if it wasn't disclosed, that's totally a reason to return it. And if the seller didn't accept the return, it's worth a negative. I don't know what happened, but you can see how that would result in a negative feedback. And that's the only negative they've left in the past month. And here we have the feedback they've received in the past month is 47. So they left one negative feedback in 47 purchases. And those are the ones where they've received feedback. So if there's sellers who don't leave feedback immediately, or they wait until this guy leaves feedback for them, he could have like as many as 100, probably not quite that many, but probably more than 47. So he left one negative feedback in like 50-ish purchases for a reason that seems realistic. So what's happening is he's not leaving any other feedback except the negatives. So all those other transactions, he just never left them any feedback, which is like not ideal. Like you sort of want to get the positive feedback, but I don't care when buyers don't leave me feedback. Like as long as they don't leave me negative, I'm happy. And so that's all we have for the past month. And so now we're into the past 6 months. Over here, we have a bit more information. And so here we have canceled my order and mentioned the reason as buyer asked to cancel order. So he's saying, I never asked to cancel the order, but they canceled it on me. That's worth a negative feedback. The reason this person probably canceled the order was they looked at the feedback this guy's left, saw all the red, and said, I don't want to deal with them. They tried to sneak it by and say that the buyer asked to cancel the order so they wouldn't get hit with You get a ding on your account for canceling orders unless you say that the buyer asked. If this buyer had called eBay and reported this, that seller would be in big trouble. So that one, he didn't, that seller basically deserved that negative. He left one positive feedback, so that seller lucked out. This one says, did not ship. 9 days later, they issued a refund. So, if you order something, they don't ship it to you and then refund you. Yeah, that's worth a negative feedback. This one, seller cancels my orders again and again. 2 weeks later, my expedited order was refunded because they did not ship it. No tracking, no response from the seller. And this one, refund reserve, buyer remorse. How come? Here you go if you would like the remorse. So that's again where the seller canceled it and tried to say that this buyer requested it because they changed their mind, which they didn't. And so those were all sellers who got scared by the negative feedback this guy's left, and they got negative feedback because of it in the past 6 months. And so, how many purchases did this guy do in the past 6 months? Over 300. And so all those negatives in that past 6 months were either because there was no tracking, they never received it, or because they lied and said that this guy requested a cancellation. So there was actually no problems with the books that he did get. He just never left any feedback. The only problem is the sellers who are too scared to ship to this guy because they're scared of the negative feedback, and then they do sketchy stuff and get a negative feedback. Like, it's kind of crazy. And then going further back, so more than a year ago, I contacted the seller twice, but I got no response. I received no response to my email, not received. The seller does not accept the return. So that could be a bit of a warning sign, but this guy's buying so many books that, like, you're going to have some that need returned. You're going to have some sellers who are not good to deal with. Like, if I was doing e-flips, buying books on eBay to flip to Amazon, I would expect like 2 or 3 or 5% to be not as described, because there are some really bad listings out there where the pictures, you can't tell what you're going to get. And if the description says it's in very good condition and you get it and it's not, you can return it. Like, that's the way it works. And so this guy says, the response to that one, where he said the seller does not accept the return, buyer made unreasonable return request after having booked for 10 days. That's not unreasonable. There is no... yeah, I don't know. The book has never appeared. No response to our email. Item not received. No response from the seller. Sent wrong book. Does not answer our email. One of the worst seller. Our apology. For some reason, your email went to different folder in our inbox. So it goes on and on. Like, there's plenty of negatives left. This is the one where I'm like, okay, I would love to be able to see that listing to see if the buyer is being unreasonable. Ordered 12th edition, received 10th edition. It is hard to deal with this seller. And their reply is, buyer ordered wrong edition. Please read descriptions. So I'd want to be able to see that and see, did it actually say 10th edition on the listing, or did it just say whatever book, and then somewhere in there it said what the edition was. So I would want to see the listing You can't do that. It's over a year old. But yeah, so people are saying, oh, I'm going to block this guy, I'm going to block this guy. They're buying tons of textbooks. Like in the past year, they've received over 500 feedback. And, you know, yeah, they've left a lot of. So most of this is more than a year ago. So blah blah blah. In the past year, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a positive. 8 negative feedback out of 500 transactions that they've received positive feedback for themselves. So it seems bad, but so many of those were for ones where either the order was canceled or they never received the order, which oftentimes, and I think this is the case, the seller sees the negative feedback, marks it as shipped, doesn't ship it, waits for the buyer to go, hey, I never received this, and they just refund them so that they don't get the ding for canceling an order, and they blame it on the post office. So there are people who say, oh, this guy's stealing books. Whenever they don't have tracking, he's claiming, I never received it. I don't think that's the case. I think it would show up quite a bit more if that was the case, because of how I understand the media mail works in the States. I think a lot of the books he is receiving would be coming through media mail. I don't know how it works totally, so I could be wrong. But yeah, I would not block this guy, and there are people who are, they're tracking down this person's business and like saying we should, light the torches, get the pitchforks. Like it's pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, just thought I'd share that. Maybe it'll help some of you when you get a buyer who has lots of negative feedback left, to have a look and actually see what are the percentages that they're leaving. Are they just someone who doesn't leave positive feedback, or what's the deal? Thanks for watching.